Evacuees from Peguis First Nation could be stuck out of their homes for years while plans to build homes and mitigate future floods continue. As you saw last night here on CBC Winnipeg News, 900 evacuees from Peguis First Nation are still out of their community, many with no homes to go back to. Hundreds of homes in Peguis have either been condemned or need major repairs before they're livable. As CBC's Brittany Greenslade reports, the chief says it's been a slow process moving forward with the federal government.
It's a frigid February morning, and it's no warmer inside this home than out.
Oh, no power. We see how everything has frosted up now? We haven't been home.
It's one of the first times Darryle Sinclair has been back to his Peguis home since it flooded 9 months ago.
You miss everything. Yeah, you want to be with friends and neighbors, and you want your family here. You're lost. That's how we feel. We're lost. You know, we want to get back home and come back to Peguis and be home again.
Looking around, it's as if time has stood still, but Mother Nature hasn't. The walls, windows, and doors are frozen.
A little frosty.
Standing inside, the memories are flooding back.
The water had come to this height. We were able to see our first step, but everything was underwater.
It's dark. You can barely see right in front of you, but you don't need to see. You can hear what's below.
It filled up so fast, we lost everything. All our personal pictures, kids' clothes, everything. Wow.
Water is still seeping in. Mold has taken over. Like dozens of others, his house will be torn down and rebuilt. But he doesn't know when or where. It's been a battle, but it's not the only one he's been fighting.
Cancer on top of worrying about my home and family.
Yeah.
It's really bad. All I did was pray. I prayed and prayed and prayed. I had people praying for me that we'd be all okay, and we're still here.
He's been undergoing chemotherapy for months. Today, there is good news. He's in remission.
The biggest fight is done. Huh?
Now he can focus on getting healthy and getting a new home, because that fight continues.
Homes now have to be rebuilt at higher levels. It means adding elevation to the ground while also keeping a few feet of extra space empty underneath the first floor just in case. It's a process that has to happen to all of these previously flooded homes and so many others.
Well, assessments are still being done. William Sutherland says it's likely they'll need to do that to hundreds of homes.
Planning for worst case scenarios as well, knowing work with it, any dike work that's done could be jeopardized at some future time, so we still have to build up to the 1 in 200 year flood level, which is what our goal is on Peguis, right?
While Peguis is the largest First Nation in Manitoba, Sutherland says it's also the most flood prone. But that wasn't always the case. In the early 1900s, the people of Peguis were forced from their original land close to Selkirk when that city started booming. The land was forcibly surrendered, and the community was relocated to this basin, where floods are inevitable. Now they are left to find the solutions as well, which Sutherland and many others are hoping are more permanent.
That's the ultimate goal that I have, is to one day hear that announcement that although Peguis flooded, there has been no reports of damages and there's no need for evacuations.
But those plans will take years, leaving hundreds of evacuees still waiting. Brittany Greenslade, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Indigenous Services Canada says it is working with Peguis to address housing needs in the community. Based on damage assessments it has received so far, it says 36 units will be replaced, 38 others renovated, and 6 are still in discussion. Indigenous Services Canada says it has advanced around $270,000 to Peguis to help with repairs so far, but no money has yet been forwarded to deal with replacing any homes. Indigenous Services Minister Patty Hajdu says the Liberal government is committed to moving as quickly as possible to restore and rebuild homes.
For some people, it might be longer than others, and that's exactly what we've been doing. The real solution, though, is moving away from a repeated flooding event. And so the chief knows that. He's got a number of experts working with him to figure out how the community can rebuild with flood proofing that prevents those ongoing, reoccurring evacuations.
Hajdu says they are waiting for details from Peguis, and as soon as those plans are complete, the work can start. It will be done in stages with the goal of ensuring the community is resistant to flood events in the future.